The Curse of Roanoke Island. The group of tourists arrived on Roanoke Island with high spirits, excited to explore the rich history of the area. They had heard the stories of the lost Roanoke Colony and were eager to uncover the truth behind its mysterious disappearance. Their first day on the island was filled with wonder and excitement as they explored the ruins of the old settlement. But as the sun began to set and the shadows grew longer, a sense of unease began to settle over the group. That night, as they sat around a campfire, they began to hear strange noises in the distance. At first they thought it was just the wind rustling through the trees, but as the noises grew louder, they realized that something was amiss. Suddenly, a thick fog descended upon the island, obscuring their vision and causing them to lose their bearings. The group huddled together in fear as they heard the sound of footsteps approaching. A figure emerged from the mist, a tall and imposing figure dressed in tattered clothing. His eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and his voice echoed with a haunting resonance. "I am the curse of Roanoke Island." The figure boomed. "You have awakened me from my slumber, and now you must pay the price." The tourists tried to flee, but the curse followed them, haunting their every step. They soon realized that the only way to escape was to confront the evil spirit and put an end to the curse once and for all. In a desperate bid for survival, the group embarked on a perilous journey through the island, facing countless horrors and obstacles along the way. But with each step they took, the curse grew stronger, determined to claim their lives and keep them trapped on the island forever. As they finally confronted the curse, they realized that the only way to end the curse was to sacrifice one of their own. With a heavy heart, they made the sacrifice and watched as the curse dissipated into the mist, never to be seen again. But as they made their way back to civilization, they knew that the curse would never truly be gone. For as long as Roanoke Island stood, the curse would continue to haunt the land, waiting for its next victims to awaken it once more. As the tourists returned to their normal lives, they tried to put the experience behind them, but the memory of the curse of Roanoke Island lingered, haunting their dreams and plaguing their thoughts. Months passed, and the group slowly began to move on with their lives. But one by one, strange and unexplainable events began to occur. Doors would slam shut on their own, objects would move without explanation, and eerie whispers would fill their ears. It soon became clear that the curse had followed them back to the mainland, and they knew that they must find a way to put an end to it once and for all. Determined to break the curse, the group reunited and returned to Roanoke Island. Armed with the knowledge they had gained from their previous encounter, they set out to find the source of the curse. As they explored the island once again, they discovered a hidden chamber deep beneath the ground inside. They found an ancient relic, a symbol of the curse that had plagued the island for centuries. With trembling hands, they destroyed the relic, and as they did, they felt the curse dissipate into the air. The darkness lifted, and the island was once again peaceful and serene. The group returned home, forever changed by their experience. They knew that they had faced true evil and emerged victorious, but they also knew that the curse of Roanoke Island would never truly be gone. And as they went about their lives, they couldn't help but wonder what other dark secrets and cursed places lurked in the shadows, waiting to be awakened by unsuspecting travelers. The Lost Colony. The family had thought that moving to Roanoke would be the fresh start they needed, but they soon realized that they had made a grave mistake. Their new house seemed to have a life of its own. Doors would slam shut without explanation, and they could hear footsteps in the hallway, even when no one was there. At first, they tried to brush it off as their imaginations, but as the occurrences became more frequent and intense, they knew that something was wrong. As they began to investigate the history of the town, they discovered that their house was built on the site of the lost Roanoke Colony, and that the ghosts of the past were coming back to haunt them. The family tried to leave, but they quickly realized that the spirits were not going to let them go so easily. They were trapped in their own home, with no escape from the horror that surrounded them. They tried everything they could think of to get rid of the ghosts, scenes, exorcisms, and even calling in a team of paranormal investigators, but nothing worked. The family was slowly being driven to madness, as they were constantly tormented by the vengeful spirits of the lost colony. They knew that they had to do something drastic to survive. As a last resort, they decided to dig up the ground underneath their home, hoping to uncover the source of the curse that had been placed upon them. As they dug deeper, they discovered an ancient artifact, a talisman that had been buried there for centuries. They destroyed the talisman, and as they did, they felt a sense of relief wash over them. The ghost disappeared, and the family was finally able to leave the house behind. But they knew that the experience had changed them forever, and that they could never truly escape the horror of the lost colony. As they left the town of Roanoke behind, the family tried to move on with their lives, but they knew that they would never be the same again. The memories of the haunting and the terror they experienced in their old home would always stay with them. Years passed, and the family thought they had put the horrors of Roanoke behind them. But one day, they received a letter in the mail. It was from a distant relative who had recently discovered that they were related to one of the members of the lost Roanoke Colony. The letter explained that the relative had inherited a property on Roanoke Island and invited the family to come and visit. Despite their reservations, the family was curious and decided to accept the invitation. As they arrived on the island, they were greeted by the sight of the old property. It was dilapidated and overgrown, but there was something about it that drew them in. As they explored the property, strange things began to happen once again. They heard whispers in the wine and saw the ghostly apparitions of the lost colony members walking around the property. The family realized that the curse of the lost colony was still alive and well, and they knew that they had to put an end to it once and for all. With the help of the distant relative, they set out to find the source of the curse. As they dug deeper into the island's history, they uncovered a dark secret. The lost colony had made a deal with an evil spirit and had paid the price for it. The family knew that they had to break the deal and destroy the source of the curse in order to free themselves from its grip. They journeyed deep into the island, where they found the ancient altar where the deal was made. With trembling hands, they destroyed the altar, and as they did, they felt the curse lift from the island. The ghostly apparitions disappeared, and the island was finally at peace. As the family left Roanoke Island for the last time, they knew that they had put an end to the curse of the lost colony, and that they could finally leave the horror behind them. But they also knew that they would never forget the haunting experience that had changed their lives forever. The Vanishing. The team of archaeologists arrived on Roanoke Island ready to uncover the secrets of the lost colony that had vanished centuries ago. They were experts in their field, trained to excavate and analyze the artifacts and remains of ancient civilizations, but they were not prepared for the horrors that awaited them on the island. As they began their excavation, strange things began to happen. Equipment malfunctioned, artifacts disappeared, and the team members began to feel a sense of unease. It was as if the island itself was trying to prevent them from discovering the truth. But they persisted, driven by their curiosity and their desire to uncover the mysteries of the past. As they dug deeper, uncovered a series of mysterious symbols etched into the walls of the underground chambers. The symbols seemed to have a malevolent energy, and the team members began to feel as if they were being watched. One by one, team members began to vanish without a trace. They would simply disappear, leaving no signs of struggle or foul play. The remaining members were left to wonder what had become of their colleagues, and to fear for their own lives. As they continued their investigation, they discovered a hidden chamber deep beneath the ground. Inside, they found a series of ancient artifacts that seemed to hold the key to the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. But as they examined the artifacts, they felt a sense of overwhelming dread. They realized that the symbols they had seen before, some linked to the artifacts, and that they had awakened a malevolent force that was now intent on claiming their souls. As the team members struggled to escape the island, they were pursued by a shadowy figure that seemed to be made of darkness itself. It was the embodiment of the evil that had haunted the island for centuries, and it was determined to claim their souls for its own. In a final, desperate showdown, the team members battled the malevolent force, using their knowledge of ancient artifacts to defeat it. As the evil dissipated into the air, they realized that they had narrowly escaped with their lives. But as they made their way back to civilization, they knew that they would never be the same, for they had faced true evil and emerged victorious. But they had also witnessed the horror that lurked in the shadows, waiting to claim those who dared to seek the truth. The team members returned home, haunted by the memory of their harrowing experience. They tried to put the events of Roanoke Island behind them, but they knew that they could never truly forget what they had seen and felt on the island. As they went about their daily lives, strange occurrences continued to plague them. They would hear whispers in their ears, see shadows moving in the corners of their vision, and feel an inexplicable sense of dread. Slowly but surely, the team members began to unravel. They would have nightmares and wake up screaming, and some of them even developed mysterious illnesses that doctors could not explain. It soon became clear that they had brought something back with them from the island, something that was now haunting them and driving them to madness. Desperate to find a solution, the team members returned to Roanoke Island, hoping to find a way to reverse the curse that had been placed upon them. As they retraced their steps from their previous expedition, they discovered a hidden cave that they had not seen before. Inside, they found an ancient altar covered in mysterious symbols and artifacts. They realized that this was the source of the curse, and that they must destroy it in order to free themselves from its grip. With trembling hands, they destroyed the altar, and as they did, they felt the curse lift from their bodies. The whispers and shadows disappeared, and they felt a sense of peace that they had not felt in months. But as they left the island once again, they knew that they had seen and experienced things that could never be fully explained or understood, and they could only hope that they would never have to face such horror again.